is Gregory Scott Case with Case Files, and today we're going to talk about the top 10 gifts for Father's Day 2020. Now, I understand that with COVID going on, budgets can be a little tight, so I've tried to go from, some doesn't cost very much money, down to $0, up to a few $100 for dear old dad. Now let's go ahead and jump right in. And for gift number one, it's an old favorite, cologne. Now we guys like getting cologne, and we get it quite often. And for instance, this is usually what we get. You can go out and buy us a bottle of cologne, and it's great. We like it. Hopefully it smells good. This particular one is Dylan Blue by Versace. It's it's pretty good. You look up the reviews, it probably gets pretty good reviews. It runs you about $50, so that's a pretty good gift. We guys like packaging. You may think that we don't, but we do. It's always nice to get something that's well packaged, but more than that, I'm talking about the actual bottle itself. So this is a pretty nice bottle. It's kind of a really dark cobalt blue with a little medallion on it. It's pretty manly. I like it. But something like this, because the box usually goes in the trash, and then we're left with the bottle that's going to be out on our nightstand or on the bathroom counter. And so we like something kind of, at least I do, kind of manly to look at and not, doesn't look like it's my wife's or something. But anyway, so that's an idea. But another thing that you can do in the fragrance department, instead of buying a bottle of cologne, you can get what's called a sampler set. Now I've got a sampler set here, and this is by Replica, and it's they have a couple of them usually, and this is a 3 set, and so this runs you about $65, and the replicas are pretty good. I like them, and if you were to buy one of these in the store, and it's like 10 mils, I think, it's about $30, and so consider it buying 2 getting 1 free. But anyway, that's a good option, because what if you don't happen to like the fragrance that you get? At least you got a little bit of a better chance of liking that, and then it's a little variety. And then if you want to take the variety a little further, you can get a subscription plan. Now we're all familiar with these unboxings and everything. Well, they have one called Scentbird. And Scentbird, when you first do it, they give you the fragrance, and then you get these little, I think they call them atomizers, but you get them, and you can get them in different colors. So I have black, a silver, and kind of a Prussian metallic blue color. And of course they have red and autumn greens and all kind of stuff like that. But these are kind of fun because, a subscription will run you probably about, well, if you're a first-time subscriber, it's probably a little lower than $15, but it's $15 a month on average. And so they give you these little samples, and then you just pop them in, and then for dishes to carry around, kind of like a little travel thing. But those are great because they have a wide selection of colognes that you could try. So you could get Dad, you can get him a month. You can cancel it any time. But get him a month, $15. Get him a couple months, $30. That's pretty good. And he can go in and then pick whatever cologne that he wants, and then he may like it, and every month get a new cologne. But they say that the size lasts about a month, and it lasts me a little bit longer. But I have a lot of colognes, and so I shake it up a little bit. So. I'm not the best judge of character. It's not like I'm spraying the same thing over and over from that bottle, but it gets a good variety. So that's another option for cologne. So that's item number 1. Now, and I should say that if you go on there for like $50, they have like pre-made kits where they select three scents and then they send them to you. But with that, you get 3 different atomizers, I think, and different colors they send you. So, that's an easy way out, just $50, and then you get 3 with the little travel cases. But, so that's enough about cologne. Let's move on to item number 2, and that is socks. I like socks. Everybody likes socks. It's I like fun socks though. A lot of times when you give dad socks, you give him the business socks or and that's great if he likes a lot of business socks. But I like these. I consider these business socks, and it says this meeting is BS. Sometimes that's after a long hard day and you got a meeting at the end of the day. It's like, oh, another meeting, and sometimes that's how you feel. So I kind of like those socks. And then also got some other socks. You can get just about anything. Superman socks. Sometimes I feel like Superman. I like these. These are my Texas socks. So that's another one. And then now these are the Little Prince. You're probably familiar with the store Little Prince. Now you probably say, Greg, I think those are women's socks, and you'd be absolutely right. But my wife got me these, and because she calls me her Princey, her little prince. And so, maybe I kind of look like the guy there, I don't know. But anyway, of course I wear them proudly. And so you got a lot of options, and socks can run you anywhere from, $5 up to, 15 to 20 bucks. You can even, go to Etsy and have people, put pictures on there, like photographs or whatever you want. So that's a good idea, is socks. So that's number 2. So let's go to item number 3. Here are all pens and needles, and that is, look at this, an award book. Now not the award book itself. This is getting dear old dad an award. Now this particular book, I think it's like $22 on Amazon. You could probably find it cheaper than that somewhere. But it's got, this is the big book of awards for grown-ups, but they also have the big book of awards for kids or for children. And they have, just a variety of, like the actual trophies, and then they have, Evil Genius certificate. You can get some ideas. They have, crowns that you could wear. And so, or you could just print something off, make some design, print it off on your computer. It's free. Put it in, go to the dollar store and get like a little dollar frame. And so you're looking at $1 for an award for dad, for him to proudly display what you gave him. So that's another good idea as an award, because we all like awards. Best Father of the Year. But anyway, that's item number 3. Now, item number 4 is a journal. And I know with our smartphones and everything, a lot of times we have notes and note apps and everything that we can use. But I'm kind of old school, and I like writing things down. And a lot of times, I think your dad is probably the same way. And of course, journals come in all different shapes and sizes. Like I got this little almost a pocket journal. So if I get an idea or something, I go ahead and put that down. I'm a writer, so I'm always having a notebook, or I should have a notebook with me. When inspiration strikes, I'm going to go ahead and write that down. And then, but you can also get creative with journals, which is like this. This is I think a fantastic idea. Is these people? I think they're out of New Orleans, but they're definitely in Louisiana, and it's called revivaljournals.com. And so what they do is they take old books and they repurpose them into journals. So it's kind of like they take something that maybe no one wants, and then they make something that I think is really cool. But see, and then they include books of the actual pages of the actual book in the journal, and then they put the blank pages for you to do your drawings, sketchings, notes, whatever you use a journal for, grocery list. I don't know. These are, like this particular one says, to Master Donald Lacey, Christmas 1913. I mean, how cool is that? So if you know your dad's favorite book, or maybe an old book that was his favorite as a kid, you could get in touch with these guys and see if they could make you one, or if they already have one in stock. Now these are about $20. Sometimes they have clearance sales and they're like $8 or something. I actually ran into them at a fair, like it was a pre-holiday market last year in Houston, and I stumbled on them, and I could have spent an hour in their shops looking at all the interesting journals. I'm just kind of a geek that way, but anyway, journal is gift number 4. So, almost halfway there, but gift number 5 is a hat. Now, hats come in different shapes and sizes, and you can get them a baseball hat, but usually when you think of hat, you think of baseball hats. But I'm talking about the old classic, almost pimp daddy hat that gives a little something extra. This is it's called a pork pie hat. This is by Hats in the Belfry, and got my little feather there. But people usually wear these like this. Artists, poets, writers, whatever. Just cool cats in general. Just a cool lid is always a good idea. This particular one, I think it was $35 or something. Probably get it on Amazon as well. And there's different ways you can wear these off to the side. And then, so I think that's a good idea. That's not something that people buy, all the time. And, there are different types of hat. Like this hat is a trilby. It's kind of lightweight. It's got mesh. This is by Kangol. This is a little more expensive, maybe $65 or so. But, this is just more lightweight, And so it's for the summer. This other one's kind of, it's more of a wool or felt or something. It's kind of a little heavy. It'd get hot in the summer, but this is a perfect one. And then this is also a good summer hat as well. This is one by Bailey. But I love hats, and the problem with the hats though is like I went to the Home Depot and I was there was this cool like old retro old-fashioned sports car right next to my car, and so I was coming out of Home Depot headed towards my car, and this guy saw me walking that direction, and he's like, "Oh, is that your car?" I was like, "No," and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I saw the hat in the car and I just put 2 and 2 together." And then so now, unfortunately, I think I need to get an old-fashioned roadster and just to drive around. But anyway, my wife really appreciated that. But anyway, that is item number 5, and we are halfway through.
I need a break.
So here we are at section number 6, and that is a flashlight. Now before you kind of go off on me and say that's kind of a boring gift, I'm not talking about your old little, old Duracell flashlights like, doesn't give off any wattage. I'm talking about this like a big bad sucker like this. Guys like gear, dads like gear, and bigger and more rugged usually, and anything that says tactical on it is probably a good gift for us. But anyway, we like something that it looks like we could, fight off a bear on a campsite if we had to, or and something with some power so that we could burn a hole in a barn if we so desired. But anyway, that's the kind of flashlight we're talking about, and that's probably gonna something 700 lumens and up. This one, I forget, maybe 1,000 lumens is really bright. Like you could go outside and pitch black night, in the dead of night, shine this up in a tree and it will look like it's daytime. And it's pretty fantastic. And so these aren't cheap though. They usually run you about $75, and that's pretty expensive for a flashlight. But this is a really cool flashlight. And there are even cooler flashlights, but they have even cooler price tags as well. But anyway, something like this, it's very bright when you turn it on. I'll not shine it in the lens because I want your eyes to watch the rest of the video. But anyway, if you do it slight, you go to a dim mode, and then you do it again, and you have the old SOS flashing. And so that's pretty cool to freak out your neighbors, like in late at night, kind of a little panic room action there. But anyway, flashlight, that's a good one. So that is number 6. And you can get some probably on Amazon, some good ones for probably about $35, $40 range, kind of in that vein. But anyway, the next one, number 7, is a t-shirt. And you're like, wow, t-shirt? Yeah, just get dear old dad a funny t-shirt or a vintage shirt. It's I mean, I love a classic tee. I feel comfortable, and it's, especially everybody's COVID right now. You can work from home, so wear those t-shirts and get a lot of use out of them. Some of my favorites are like this one. I don't know if you can see it. It says "The Sound of Silence." All the notes are down at the bottom. It's pretty funny, clever. But and then another one of my favorites. Of course, you probably get the reference, but how can you not like anything about Beats and Farms with Dwight Schrute from The Office? And then the all-time classic, Supreme Vintage shirt. That's worth probably about $5 billion, and I'll never sell it, is this baby. It's a glow-in-the-dark 97 Rock t-shirt. Now, if you could be somewhere and stumble on a shirt like this or any old concert shirt, classic. I mean, this has got some little holes in it. Some would see that and say, ugh, I don't want that. It's got like some holes in it. And then on the back, there's like some little bleached out little white dots. It's like, oh, who would want that? I would want that, because vintage shirts are super cool, especially when they glow in the dark. So if you could ever stumble on something like this at a garage sale, someone would probably sell it to you for 50 cents, or you can contact me. I'd probably let it go for $500,000 or $600,000, truth be told. But anyway, great shirt. So anyway, that is item number 7. Hope you've had a good time, because we've only have 3 left, 8, 9, and 10. Now with number 8, let's just go ahead and jump right in. We've got Birchbox. Birchbox subscriptions you may be familiar with for women. They also have a men's side. And so usually every month, and I forget what these cost, maybe $15 a month. I always, my son gets me one of these every year just because he knows I like variety and things. And so what you do is you go online and you fill out your preferences. If you've got a beard, and you want beard stuff, or thick hair, or thin hair, or no hair, or light skin, dark skin, whatever. So, and then they send you this in a nice little box, and they're glorified samples. But the samples, I mean, this something like this will last you a little while, and so that's kind of cool. And it introduces you to new products that maybe you wouldn't know about. And then it gives like a little write-up, which is great, because I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to what it is and what I'm supposed to do with it. And so I need you to spell it out, and then maybe I'll get it right. And so that's kind of cool. And they come in a variety of boxes. Like this is just like a standard box. It's kind of blah, but every once in a while, and sometimes on your first ones, Birchbox will kick it up, because they want to keep you as a subscriber, which is pretty smart planning, and they give you like a cool box like this. So if Birchbox, or anybody that works for Birchbox, if you could give us more of this and less of this kind of box, props to you for that. But anyway, and in these really cool boxes, you'll never know what's in this box. I keep these boxes, and then I keep certain things, and I repurpose the boxes, because I like the design and it's kind of cool. But anyway, that is 8, a Birchbox subscription. Again, it's monthly plan. Sign up for a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever you want. But that kind of gives Dad a variety of like facial care. They have all kinds of products. So anyway, that's kind of a good idea. And then number 9 speaks to the pirate and the treasure hunter in all of us, and that is a metal detector. Now there are a lot of metal detectors on the market, so I would do a little research. I've done a lot of research on metal detectors before, actually, and this is kind of a entry-level metal detector, I would say, but it's a really good entry level. It's called the Garrett Ace, and it picks up a lot of different metals. And so you can, a lot of them, you can turn down the sensitivity or turn it up. And then, it gives you like, 6 inches depth, or, this is 2 inches depth. And then you can kind of get rid of certain metals like iron and, nickel or whatever, so that, when you're looking for that pirate chest of gold. You don't want all the other metals interfering, so that does that, and that's pretty cool. And then another offshoot of that is actually also from Garrett, and this is called a Pro Pointer. And so what this does is, this is also a metal detector. That one, I think it's 130, maybe this is 130. They're pretty expensive for metal detectors, especially when you look at this little thing and say, wow, that's as much as the other one. But what is really good for this, I've gone out on my son, with my son to like the beach, and we'll go places and do the pirate, look for gold and buried treasure, and it's always a lot of fun. And so, but anyway, what we'll do, especially when you're on the beach, beaches are great because sand's a lot easier to dig in than hard clay in your backyard. But anyway, that's a good idea. So the bigger metal detector you have, and that will kind of pinpoint what you want and where you want it. And then you use this to actually, once you start digging a hole, this kind of pinpoints exactly where your item is so that you can find it a lot quicker. And so my son usually gets down and he digs in there and looks for stuff with this. Our very first time out on the beach, we found a silver ring and a bag of coins, and it was the best day ever. And so that was pretty cool. So something that kind of gets you out and gets you active with your dad is a great thing. And then the last thing on the list is, well, time. An iWatch or a smartwatch is a great gift. I've got the latest one, the Series 5, and it's awesome. I like this. I had the Series, I think it was 0, the very first one they ever made, but you couldn't get it wet. Now this one you can get wet. I could go swimming if I wanted to. This has the heart stuff, so I can, do an ECG, and see, if I've got signs of atrial fibrillation. But anyway, I think that's what it's called. But anyway, I love this watch. You got a ton of different faces on it, a ton of customization, and you can get them, especially with it's almost Memorial Day now, so Father's Day is a month away. So stores are starting to have sales, and let's face it, they're dying for customers out there. Everybody's been locked inside for the last 3 months. But anyway, this is some items, and this is pretty pricey. These run, these Apple runs anywhere probably from $285 up to $500. But that's a good thing. But if you can't afford to get him the smartwatch, get him what it represents, and that's time. Just spend some time with your dad. A lot of times everybody's busy, rushing around, and sometimes, the best gift is just go down and spend a little time with your dad and tell him you love him and how much you appreciate him, and there you go. It's free, and it's the best gift ever. So I hope you've enjoyed this top 10 list for Father's Day, and hopefully you'll find at least one idea that you could use, and hopefully it won't break the bank. But anyway, thanks for watching, and if you hit subscribe, we're going to be making some more of these videos, and feel free to comment and tell me what some of your best Father's Day gifts that you've received or that you've given to your dad. But anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good one. All right.